Welcome to Fear Coded, a podcast where we talk about media from the horror genre and take a queer reading of a single book, video game, film, podcast, or TV show to explore just how queer horror can be. And it's a new month, which means that it's time for a new theme. This month, we'll be talking about vampires all month long as we answer the question, may we suck your blood? Because it's May.
Oh.
We're asking for consent
to
drain you of your fluids.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what we're going to be doing is visiting vampire stories all month long, but notably not Dracula. So this time we are visiting our vampiric friends from the 1987 comedy horror film The Lost Boys, directed by Joel Schumacher and written by Jeffrey Boam, Janice Fischer, and James Jeremias.
So many J's.
Too many. I'm not a J, I'm David.
I'm not a J either. I'm Tyler.
I'm a J, actually, but the J is silent. But I'm Marilee.
Incredible. Well, before we go and resist our temptation to feed, I want to check in with both of my co-hosts on how things are going for them in the landscape of horrors that our real world has to offer. What is making you all scared, or what is making you feel prepared?
I, much like our guests during the Exorcist episode, am a little bit of both.
You're a little bit of A, a little bit of B. Por qué no los dos? What's going on, Tyler?
So I am feeling prepared because amidst the chaos that is everything in my life and in the world, I have finally clicked with something beautiful and goddamn near perfect. It's Baldur's Gate 3. I finally figured it out. I'm okay, so like I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons since 2017. All right. Technically even earlier than that with how often I've dabbled. But when I played Baldur's Gate 3 on the PC, it just didn't work for me.
Interesting. Okay.
I saw it was on sale on the PlayStation Store, and I was feeling like I want to give it another shot, so I got it. And it's like all I want in my life. It's like totally morphed into my brain. And like I woke up this morning thinking like, oh, I have so much time to do things, because if this were turn-based, I would be able to get so much done per turn. So it's actually made me feel more productive as well.
You're like, I can walk to the kitchen and do a single action.
Yes, and a bonus action.
And a bonus action.
I know. It's so
Tyler,
much. I have so much freedom.
Incredible. I'm losing it.
I think maybe I am too, which is why I'm starting to think in a turn-based format. But it's terrific. I love it. I think I'm just like a console gamer at heart. And they figured out a really good way to make the game feel good on console, which is really hard to do, and they nailed it. So I love it. But here's where I am a little scared.
The other side
of this, soul coin is David responded to me on Blue Sky when I said I love Baldur's Gate 3 and warned me against any husband in that game because they're all his. So that's...
Well, I said, stay away from my boyfriends, parentheses, or stay away from my boyfriend, parentheses, all party members. So not just the men, it's literally everyone is my boyfriend in this game.
So it's not just Will, but also Bazel.
Yeah. Oh, 100% Lae'zel. Will was my first husband, but he's also very monogamous focused. And that grated on me a little bit, Will. Like, it's the 90s. Calm down. Or whatever. But yeah, I think the romance is what kept me going, even though I famously had massive difficulties with Baldur's Gate 3.
I think I remember that. It was the accessibility, right?
It is. There are things that are coded that you can see that I just cannot see, like that your allies have a different ring underneath them. And if, like, I know who Lae'zel is. Like, come on. Mommy.
Our beautiful frog wife.
Thank you. I have no problems there. But when I'm in a battle and there's suddenly like bonus allies and I'm like shooting them with arrows or stabbing them in the back and they're like, how dare you hurt me? I'm now your enemy. That was a rough hit for me. Also, the idea that there is theft, which makes total sense, but that is also a color-coded situation. There is not a on-screen prompt for take versus steal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's rough. I will say, I've also tried Baldur's Gate and had some problems with it, if only because I don't like sitting at the computer for too long. I have to do computer... I'm sentenced to computer so much of my life, and I got Baldur's Gate on computer also, because I don't have a PS5. And so I can only play it in very short bursts.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's very fair.
You also can only move and take one action. Like I understand.
Yeah,
I understand.
that's true.
Unless
how
you're a
works.
monk, and then you can have like all the actions and bonus actions.
Listen, yeah, and like I'm not a fighter either, so I don't have action surge. It's such a bummer.
So Tyler, what sort of did you roll for yourself? What sort of creature did you create for the world?
I made a tiefling life domain
Classic.
cleric.
Oh,
Okay.
nice. Very good.
Mm-hmm. It feels fantastic. It feels like... So I love clerics aesthetically. I think it's the Catholic trauma, as we fully covered during Excommunicate April.
For real.
And I've now realized how potent and powerful a cleric is when you just focus on them being like heals and buffs. Like they
Heals
could be
and
so
buffs.
many things, but at the end of the day, like they're the heal bot. And honestly, it
Mhm.
feels great.
I love playing a cleric. My first D&D like tabletop character was a cleric, and it's really just such a great class. You have so much fun, so many options. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
My Baldur's Gate character was a paladin for very similar reasons.
Wow.
But also because I was not confident that I would be able to know what I was supposed to be doing, and I figured paladin, most of their stuff is just to hit better, so it's like a fighter with some pizzazz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. I do think I am learning a lot about both of you, but then I am nervous to tell you that I was like, I'm a sneaky bitch. I'm going to sneak behind you and stab you.
That's
And
because
what
Rogue is such a fun class. So
Rogue
don't
is
What does
even
that
worry
say about
it?
What does that say about me? What does that say about me as a man?
You're a backstabber.
No, it says that you value economy. Why would you bother doing something in a way that advantages your enemies when it's just easier, more efficient to sneak up behind them and sneak attack?
Yeah. I have started the game many times. My favorite build was a dual hand crossbow wielding bard.
You are
which
incredible, and I
just-
treasure you.
You made
Stupid.
Lara Croft?
I made Lara Croft in the game. And she married many people, as is my want.
Good for
But
her.
The irony, though, that I can't be with any of the camp companions because David said no, in spite of criticizing Will for being too monogamous.
Too monogamous. So you can have Will. There you go.
Works for me. What about everyone? What? How's everyone else doing?
Marilee, what about you? Are you feeling scared or prepared?
I am also kind of mixed, but mostly on the prepared side because I
Okay.
also have a video game that I've been playing that I very much enjoy, that I think is super, super fun, and I really love it. It's called South of Midnight. And my best friend Chelsea was very kind, and she was like, "This is exactly your thing," and just bought it for me on the as just like a little treat my best friend gift, which was so kind, and it's so good, and I love it so much. But it is also a computer game, so I can only play it in tiny little bits at a time because I simply don't want to be in the computer chair more than I have to be.
We computer
like
too
a-
much.
This is like a big looking game, Marilee. I am looking at screenshots of it. This is like an open world situation?
So at least maybe it gets more open worldy later. Right now, it's very like it has a story, and you are like moving through it in a really wonderful way. It's beautiful. It's got a great story. The aesthetics are on point. I am really having such a great time. I wish that I didn't have to be computer bound to do it.
Sure. All I can really say, looking at these screenshots, is it feels like Horizon Zero Dawn without robots, which it actually feels insane for me to say those words. But that's the vibe I'm getting. It looks like a lot of fun.
It's so good. David, I think you'd like it. I think you both would really like it. Frankly, were it not for the fact that it does not seem like it's particularly horror focused, I would be chomping on the bit to do a Southern Gothic situation and include this in it because I think it's really fantastic.
Oh, I think it
but
totally
alas.
would fit. I think it totally
Yeah.
fits the brief. It's not super horror, but it is like folklore and Southern Gothic, and Southern Gothic is just...
Yeah, Southern Gothic is so good, but I love folklore. It's so good. I love this story. It's fantastic. Hazel Flood, you will always be famous.
Get it, Hazel Flood. God, I hope she controls water. I love a name that works with... Okay,
No,
that's
she's
fine.
a weaver, so she does like stuff with the weave of the universe.
Oh my god. You said weaver. I was thinking something a little bit more tactile, but the universe, I suppose, is also weaved. It is a web we weave.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
What about you, David?
I'm feeling prepared today, and I'm feeling prepared for an unlikely source. I'm feeling prepared about the nature of the internet, and I think that the internet deservedly has a bad reputation. It's generally one of the worst things that we've ever done, except that I think that we have a high capacity to make an impact and improve other people's days, which I think improves their lives in just a small, minor way. And I have had the opportunity to interact with some folks recently that have really given me the chance to do something small and stupid that makes their day a little bit better. And what I'm talking about here is drawing. One of my new favorite things to do is to just draw a person dumbly. I'm not doing it very well. Like the ongoing portrait that I'm working on for Marilee that I, work on a little bit. Then I'm like, well, I'm going to put this aside and draw something dumb because I want Marilee's portrait to look nice. But, somebody's just like, oh, draw me. And I will do it. And then they go like, wow, that made my day. That's really fun. Or if I can just reach out to someone and be like, you're an inspiring artist and like you should make more art and good for you, which I got to do this morning, which then prompts like, why am I getting this message? And I was like, I don't know, it's Saturday. That's all I have to say. And we can make those sorts of changes for people in our lives. And I encourage everyone to do it because it feels good to do.
Aww. A, it does. And B, David, you're just like the sweetest person in the history of the world, actually.
True. It's true.
Don't tell anyone. But yes. No, I don't know. I mean, I've always wanted, in a very real way, I have always been interested in being a healer. That's why I wanted to go into psychiatry. Couldn't see the pills. Famously talked about this. Then I went into psychology. It was too difficult. Then I went into social work. Just kidding. Social work was my immediate second choice. I would never have stopped in psychology on the way. What a betrayal to my people. No. And that's how I got into the helping profession. But now I can also see that like art and humor and just recognizing people also can deliver that same healing word that heals for 1d6. And really some psychic healing for 1d6 is nobody's going to say no to that.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you roll 6.
Yeah, that's really good.
A commoner only has 4 hit points. So, like, you cured their scoliosis.
But you know what? Even if you roll a 1, that is 1 more than someone had. And if we all did one thing, how cool would that be?
Very true.
Yeah. David, you're so lovely. I hope that you know that.
Thank you. I mean, I do.
Good.
It reminded me of when the Switch 2 came out and everyone was like, there's a cow on a motorcycle. Like this made me want to keep living my life, which I know is a joke. But if there's any truth to that, if a cow riding a motorcycle ameliorated even a gram of suffering that this world has to offer, then don't we owe it to the world to put more cows on motorcycles?
You're 100% right. And thank you for drawing Tittle Biddle on a motorcycle.
Oh my god.
Tittle Biddle makes me so happy.
I've also misnamed Titty Biddle, which I now like bear the sins for because I did an L instead of an I. But it is Titty Biddle. My apologies to Derek's dream fake Pokemon.
Listeners, for anyone who's not like religiously following our Blue Sky and keeping up with Glitterjaw lore, our Lord and Savior Derek B. Gale dreamed of a Pokemon like a fairy type, I believe, like cow style Pokemon, and David drew this incredibly cute, just like soft shapes, like just all sorts of round and kind and cute Pokemon cow on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, but this was a surprise later thing because initially both Cass and Doug and David all drew variations on Tittle Biddle, and then it was like a few months later, David with the motorcycle steel chair of it all. It was so delightful and unexpected.
She was in the discourse. I can't not. This is the thing. Is I started to learn to draw for video game development because I want to draw hand-drawn environments, but now 95% of what I draw is just to make someone smile.
Oh. David!
Truly, I draw nothing. I mean, nothing of interest. I draw plenty of interest, but like, I was like, there's this little pig sprite that I'm going to get perfect. I never open that file anymore. The only things I open are like, what would make Derek laugh? What would make Cass smile? What would make just random internet people have a little bit of a better day? And that is why you should follow the Fear Coded account on Blue Sky and Instagram at FearCodedPod. Anyway, thanks for joining us for this podcast. I got all mixed up on the notes.
David, no.
Wow, desperately don't want to talk about this film.
Well, it's
you
time.
Have to.
It's
you
time.
Have to.
You're the first person to talk about it.
That's true. Well, then I will launch into it because today we are discussing the 1987 film The Lost Boys. And despite my misgivings with it, it is a tremendously successful film that has also evolved into a cult classic and Gen X favorite, which drove an interest on some of the modern ways that we look at vampires today.
So the film itself follows two teenage brothers, older brother Michael and younger Sam, who move with their divorced mother to the fictional town of Santa Carla, California, only to discover that the town is a haven for vampires.
Dun dun dun. Michael's journey surrounds his encounters with the enigmatic David, not this one, of course, a different one, the leader of a group of eternal teenagers. Meanwhile, Sam is recruited by Edgar and Alan Frog, self-proclaimed vampire hunters, to deal with his brother and the leader of said vampires. What are y'all's experience with the 1987 film The Lost Boys?
So I think when we were conceiving May, We Suck Your Blood, a month of vampires, but not Dracula, we were talking about the things that we wanted to cover, and I said, I think we should cover Lost Boys, because it is horror, or I will debate it, but I think it's pretty squarely in the field. It's about vampires. It was pretty culturally important, but I had never seen this film until Mike and I started living together. That's right, me, David, and my husband, Michael, spent some time on that one. And he was kind of obsessed with this movie. He just put it on constantly. And, he puts a lot of films on constantly. Under the Tuscan Sun, The Birdcage, Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, The Proposal, anything Sandra Bullock, honestly. But you might notice that this film, while a horror comedy, is a little different than those others because it is kind of morose and dark and terrifying. And so I went to the source on this one and I said, Mike, what made you love The Lost Boys that we have seen this film maybe 100 times? And he looked at me and responded that it's from the 80s and there were some pretty good movies from the 80s, and then just stared at me and I was like, wow, thank God we didn't have Mike on as a guest for this episode because truly and honestly, worst podcaster ever.
He'd have to listen to the podcast first.
Well, that's never happening. That's never happening. I've actually detailed using this podcast the things that I will get in the divorce, and he's never heard one bit of it.
Well, I have not had a similar experience. Marshall watched some of this with me, but it was mostly on their phone while they did.
Good choice.
But no, actually, I've seen this movie mostly in bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Like it was on TBS or TNT or whatever, Comedy Central, something. But my mom actually is the one who introduced it to me, which for our dedicated listeners of the pod, my mom typically averse to horror up until semi-recently.
Right.
But no, she loves this movie. I think it's actually for similar reasons that Mike does, and that it's from the 80s and some good movies came out of the 80s. But I think it also reminds her of like her teenage like older teenage years, I guess.
That's fair.
So because she would have been like the same age as everybody in this movie, like the older kids. So I don't know, just vibed with her really well. This is a very vibey movie. This is not a very plot intense movie. It's mostly here for the vibes. Marilee, what's your story with The Lost Boys?
Well, my story is that I watched it on cable one summer. I remember distinctly I was at a relative's in Maine's, and it was just a boring day. I put it on the television, and I had my mind blown.
Really? This worked for you?
Because I was in like middle school maybe, and I was like, man, that's cinema.
Oh my gosh.
That's good. That's certainly a movie. And I definitely didn't watch it all in one sitting. I definitely saw the whole movie throughout that summer, but I definitely did see it in at least 2 or 3 different chunks.
I love preteen Marilee being like, wow, more films should have one song that they just go back and back and back and back to.
I stand by that, actually. I think that more songs should have a leitmotif. They should have a song that they center their soundtrack around and they come back to. Frankly, Thank you, David. That is true. I stand by it.
We have $300 for a music budget. We better get our money's worth out of this.
Absolutely.
And I stand by it. They got some bangers, and then they made sure to use them. I love that.
Honestly, though, that song has so many different tonal
work.
parts to it that you could be forgiven for thinking that they're just playing, like, one part from one song, another part from a different song.
Yeah, it does work. I will confess, but I will say also that watching this film critically is such a weird experience. I think watching any film critically for like podcast discussion is always strange. I mean, we talked about this when we talked about like The Nun. Like, it is a bad movie, but then it's an even worse movie when you're like, what queer themes can I draw out of this? But this one,
Any themes? What any themes? There are none.
What happened? Like,
it's garbage.
What happened
Don't
in this
watch
movie?
The Nun.
But this one was so much different because I was like, wow, we are playing fast and loose with like story structure. And I think this Tyler's quote even came from our like internal group chat where I was like, sorry, gang, the plot summary is a little funny. And I believe Marilee wrote, it's a little light on the plot and you're really just here for the vibes with a Z.
I did say that, and 100%. I stand by it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I'm glad that we're talking about it. I am glad that I finally get to continue to ignore this movie any other time it gets put on, because I will also say, because like Marshall, I am kind of used to just like looking at my phone or playing Bellatra or whatever when this movie's on. Having to actually watch it for the podcast was a little funny because I was like, this is not a movie that I'm like used to watching.
Oh, totally. For sure. It was very strange watching it last night. Actually, I have a bone to pick with the version that I watched. I'm going to make this fast. So, listeners, if you listen to this podcast, and eventually I promise you we're going to get to the plot of this movie, but do not watch it. Do not watch it on YouTube. The YouTube version has horrible sound mixing. The music and the sound effects were all super, super loud, which made the carnival scenes really fun. But the dialogue, ASMR whisper. The quietest noises I've ever heard in my life. I had captions on, and they only helped so much.
They're maggots, Michael. They're maggots.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's incredible. That is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this movie is not available to stream anywhere. You do have to rent or buy it. And I always watch things more than once. So I was like, it is $4 to rent it and $9 to buy it. I'm going to have to watch it at least twice. So I might as well buy it. And I'm happy to report that is not a problem on Amazon, though, of course, we all hate Amazon.
I also am sorry that I picked something that was not available to stream. I did not even realize that because, of course, we own this.
I think it was I think we just caught it at a bad time because I've definitely seen it on streaming before. It's just in that weird window of time where a movie, for some reason, is just not available to stream like on a subscription service anywhere.
Happen. You know, that's our reality, right? That's why I'm glad I watched The Lighthouse when I did. Totally forgetting that we had planned it for a future episode for the podcast.
So to retain that memory.
Hey, hang on I watched it also because I know that Gavin and Louie are covering Mr. Defoe for upcoming mixed reviews, and I wanted to watch a little bit of his backlog.
God, I love mixed reviews.
I do too.
God, it's so good. It's such
I'm definitely
a delightful show.
And I love Willem Dafoe, so I will be tuning in.
For real. We're all excited about that one, which is possibly already available by the time this episode comes out.
Yeah, I do believe that is coming out like the week that we're recording this, actually. Yeah.
So you know what? Those of you listening, you live in a better future than the one we live in right now.
Because you can listen to the mixed reviews right after this. Yeah. Aren't you lucky?
And you should. You know what we should also do is talk about our themes for this movie. Oh my
gosh. Tyler, it's so good to have you back. Not that Marilee and I did not do a great job with the themes, but I don't know how you felt, Mare, but it felt like I was trying to read copy while also having a carrot in my mouth. It just felt strange because I was like, this is Tyler's thing.
Yeah, no, it felt it was hard. The whole vibe was like, it's so much fun to have one-on-one David time. That was great.
We had a blast.
I missed Tyler the whole time.
I was like, can I even read this? It feels
I don't know.
Dangerous.
This is not. What if we just skipped themes? Oh my God. Tyler's not here.
No, terrible.
Well, I think what we need to do is just make life be normal, and then I won't have to miss any more themes.
Great, let's make life be normal.
Just make things be normal. But you know what isn't normal?
No.
Santa Carla, California.
That is true.
Because it's full of our first theme, stupid, sexy vampires. And that was like a $5 transition.
That was perfect. That one was perfect.
Also, keep that in. All right. So, as we will explain all month long, the nature of vampirism and sexuality are not far off from one another. But not all who thirst are monster fuckers who go hard for Nosferatu. The film provided a blueprint for a disaffected young adult turned immortal being, which gave way to how brooding and a leather jacket, a knockoff by the way, could become an instant combination for sex appeal in the undying. Originally, the film was set to be directed by Richard Donner from the Goonies fame, and meant to have a much more Goonies-esque vibe. When Donner left and Joel Schumacher was brought on, the script was retooled to age up and sexualize the characters for the film we have today.
I've got to say that the sexuality in this is 1980s sexuality. Like, there's no way around that. Some of the hair will not work for some of you. It did work for me, because even though this was not a part of my growing up, the film Stand By Me was. And so I was already painted with a base coat of, you find Kiefer Sutherland attractive. Even when he's like batting mailboxes or threatening you with a switchblade or being a vampire. Like, this is, the pump is primed. And then later as an adult, I would watch him defuse bombs or whatever he did on 24. I don't even remember really that show, except that he was hot in it. And so he's hot, and that is the sexuality that really encompasses this film and then bleeds into every other character.
I'm glad we've established that Kiefer Sutherland is hot, because this movie is really gay and in love with Kiefer Sutherland.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, that's 100%. I actually, if you play the movie backwards and, you know, like in true Beatles style, like the message that keeps popping up is, you're gay, Kiefer Sutherland's hot, you're gay, you're gay, Kiefer Sutherland's hot, the whole time.
Well, it's because if you play it in reverse, it's about how Kiefer Sutherland, spoiler alert, comes back from the dead and has a great time as a vampire biker.
You know what also is kind of amazing per our Baldur's Gate conversation is that everyone's kind of Kiefer Sutherland sexual. Like, nobody's gay, nobody's bi, nobody's pan. Everyone is just into him. He is like the player character of like a Dragon Age game. Like, everyone wants him. Dragon Age 2, to be specific.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter who you are. Everyone wants you. You are the ideal. And that is my boy here.
It's true. I mean, he is like audiences who watch this, of course, you may not be attracted to the feathered hair and the over like fashioned like vampires. The whole aesthetic they have going on is very glam,
yes,
and goth, and just a lot of stuff going on. But Kiefer Sutherland, I'm so sorry, he has such a
weird name.
Joel Schumacher is very much in love with him.
Yes,
and he is presented as being this very angelic, handsome, pretty boy, in spite of being an evil vampire who kills people.
Yeah.
Which makes him even sexier.
True.
So
it's true.
My bummer here is that none of the women are really get their day in the sun. We have to wait.
That is extremely true.
Yeah, it's really weird that Star is the only female vampire, and she's like this tortured half vampire who also has a child who's around for some reason.
Thank you.
And like there's no other female vampires in the gang. And the only other lady is Lucy, who is just there to be the mom.
Right.
We don't even have like a butch lesbian vampire, which would be fucking cool shit.
Well,
there should be, frankly. We're all missing that energy.
Truly. And we've seen Lisa Frankenstein. We know that women's fashion was the it. So like, again, I'm not against seeing like hot dudes in leather jacket or knockoff leather jackets for Tyler. Like, fucking pleather up in this shit.
Hey, they say it in the movie. Star says it in the movie. That's her one significant plot contribution.
She's like, I can spot.
That's not true.
I can spot.
No, that's not true. But she is treated as very much just kind of like a plot
She's
device.
a sexy lamp, and like we all have to get over it.
She's like a living fridged character. I hate it. But I did just want to see some more fashion. Diane Wiest is giving it to me as mom, but that's all I get is fun mom outfits.
Oh god, I love Diane Wiest.
Me too. It's so weird that she's in this.
She made a lot of choices in the 80s. Like,
truly.
Didn't everybody who was there do that?
That's true. That is true.
That is super true. Well, I don't have a good transition for that one, so we're just going to move to the next theme, which is, as you could probably guess from the title of this movie, all children grow up except one. Because the title of the movie is The Lost Boys, it is a reference to the characters in J.M. Barrie's Peter Pan, who, much like vampires, never grow up. Screenwriter James Jeremias said, I had read Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire, and in that there was a 200-year-old vampire trapped in the body of a 12-year-old girl. Since Peter Pan had been one of my all-time favorite stories, I thought, what if the reason Peter Pan came out at night and never grew up and could fly was because he was a vampire? One of the recurring conceits of stories about vampires is that they are unaging and undying, and we see that with David and his flock of vampires as they terrorize Santa Carla.
I was so floored by this quote that I had to put the whole damn thing in, because it's almost like Like, what happens if I was like really overtired one night and was just thinking about like Peter Pan? I was like, oh my God, what if he was a vampire? And then I wrote a script around that. That is bonkers ridiculous.
True.
I love and treasure that. Here's my thing. I actually love Peter Pan. I love Peter Pan. I have a tattoo based around Peter Pan. So this has always been something that I've been really drawn to as an aspect of this story, and like that's just like a fun layer that I've always really, really, really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's a really fun twist on the whole vampire idea. Vampirism seems like a pretty big party. Which is like pretty par for the course for how J.M. Barrie's Peter Pan goes, I believe.
Yeah.
I read it once like 15 years ago, so I don't really remember. But like the kids are having a great time, and you know they even have like their own Wendy in Star. So, it's like an AU where she becomes a lost boy. You know, I think it's like.
I think the vibes are there, Marilee.
Yeah.
This was later.
No, I'm not disagreeing. Like that is definitely kind of like but I promise that there's a more interesting read on who Wendy is, and we'll get to it later.
Okay.
I'm very excited for that.
I'm excited. I like knowing this connection. Obviously, I know who the Lost Boys are. And when I watch this film, I think that if I didn't, I'd be like, who were the Lost Boys?
Oh, it's the feral children. I knew that before I realized it was a Peter Pan thing.
But I don't know, it's kind of a weird name for this film, I think. I think it's a weird name for this film because we never really reconcile with the fact that, like, most of the people of Santa Carla have lost their children, have put them on, like, milk crates, and then at the end of the film, most of them are dead.
Yeah. Well, I think it's kind of like a mix-up, like a mix and match, because it seems like the vampire older boys, they show up like a little bit here and there on missing posters, but it seems like it's mostly the victims.
Oh, okay. Well, that...
Yeah.
I don't know. That also feels weird.
Which is also why they would say, like, it's the murder capital of the world.
Yeah.
Because these vampires are killing people.
Yeah, because they're probably finding mangled, exsanguinated bodies on the beach.
Yeah,
which would probably make me not want to go to the beach anymore.
In the end,
But I think you're still right, David, that it is, like, it's a little weird. But I think it's also... I don't know. The 80s were so, and 90s, honestly, most movies throughout time have regarded that weird, like, are they seniors in high school? Are they adults? They're certainly being played by people in their 20s, you know, kind of vibe that muddles the whole thing.
Yeah. It's funny because as I was writing the notes, I kept accidentally writing, like, these teenagers are sexy. I didn't write those words exactly, but, like, I don't love that coming out of any of our mouths. I think Coolsville sucks or whatever. It's hard because I think they are in high school. I think that is, they're telling me that these are high school students who are, like, stupid, sexy vampires. And per your comment just made, Tyler, is like, they're all kissing 30 as, like, actors. So I don't feel bad lusting after them because they are adults. But there is a weird, it's kind of a weird thing about this.
It's like the curse of scary movies.
Yeah.
Like, because the same thing happens in Scream. Like,
That's
everyone
true.
there is in high school, but they're all fucking.
Yeah, that's true. And I had no problem, admiring Stu because, eyeballs.
The sexiest part of any human.
No, I meant my eyeballs.
Oh.
In that I could see him.
I was like, okay, I guess Matthew Lillard has really distinctive eyes.
Wow. Thanks for putting my eyeball fetish on blast, Tyler.
You're welcome.
I gotta go. Later days. This episode's over. I can't handle this.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. Well, I have to move on to the next theme now.
Let's
Otherwise,
do
we
it.
will circle the drain of cringe forever. Does this have steak in it? I'm a Sabbatarian.
Oh, my God.
Oh my God.
David wrote that.
I hate myself, truly.
Well, where there are vampires, there are hunters. In folklore, professional vampire hunters ranged from being the offspring of a vampire and a woman, or people who were born on a Saturday who had the ability to see a vampire for who they were, which is news to me. In this film, the sage knowledge and weapons are provided by the unlikely Frog Brothers, who are the Van Helsing stand-ins for this story.
Yes, I found this in my background as well, that this is true folklore, that the Sabbatarian, or someone who is born on a Saturday, is the natural selection to hunt vampires.
Wow.
Because of their mystical abilities. Maybe we'll find out why as we keep exploring vampires.
I really hope that lore crops up in all the vampire content that we're doing this month. Marilee is shaking her head no. That's fair.
credit to Bruce McClelland, who wrote in their article, Slayers and Their Vampires, A Cultural History of Killing the Dead, where I got that tidbit of historical information. Thanks,
Wow.
Bruce.
Bruce, you're a treasure.
Yeah, thank you for that. So it's kind of interesting that this movie was initially meant to be kind of Goonies-esque, because we do have Corey Feldman in it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Corey Feldman, as we all know, as big Goonie heads here, big Gooners, you might say.
Oh my god.
Corey Feldman is from the Goonies, and now he is post-puberty voice change, and now he's a little Ricky Badass.
I mean, Corey Haines is also in the Goonies. Both of them are in the Goonies.
Are
It's
they
both
really?
of the Coreys. Yeah, that's like the thing.
Wait, am I getting them wrong?
No, you're absolutely right.
No, they're both there. It's like the thing.
I think you're absolutely right, Tally, that this is vestiges of Goonies, is these two, particularly together, particularly being weird together again.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and Corey Feldman being the weirdo, Corey Haines being the sweetheart younger brother. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I was gonna wear my Goonies shirt to recording today, but I forgot. But like, I love the Goonies, so
I also love the Goonies. I hope we can like talk about the Goonies someday. It's not really a scary movie at all, but it's a fun movie. But anyway, back to these guys. I think that they are funny. I think they're cornball, but in the way that most things in the 80s in movies like this are cornball. There's a line near the end of the movie where they say, "Holy shit, it's the Attack Eddie Munster," and it like totally encapsulates their characters for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There is such a vibe between the two, between all really the two films, the way in which they take things seriously, but then also play things for comedy. I think that is the through line, even with the characters aged up and treated a little bit differently. That remains the vibe for me.
I've always really wondered about the author of those comics that the frogs use as their anti-vampire Bible. I feel like it's just kind of maybe implied that they made them themselves, but if so, these two feral children have incredible production skills.
Girl, this is the thing, is I don't think that we can dig too deep into this film. Once you scrape the paint away on this, there is nothing underneath this wall. It was just paint. There is no drywall. There are no boards. It is just a coat of paint standing on its own accord.
Okay, but there are several layers of paint, because my conspiracy theory is it's the grandpa that wrote those.
Okay, well, I do like that. I do like that.
I also like
Right?
that there
That's
is
fun.
like I do like that near like the first time that we meet the frog siblings, they do talk about how there's like werewolves and ghouls that are like in City Hall and stuff. And I'm just like, God, no one show this to Warner Brothers, because they're gonna turn this into like the Lost Boys cinematic universe.
And are you aware that there is a sequel and third Lost Boys film?
What?
Yeah, there are more than one. They don't exist to me, but they do. They are out there in the universe, I suppose.
Yeah.
I had no idea. This is brand new information.
Yeah, when originally pitched, it was noted that we didn't see David dissolve into anything like the other vampires do, and so couldn't he come back? He doesn't come back. They could not afford him.
Okay.
Like Kiefer Sutherland money. Hello, no, you cannot. We're not made of money over here in Sequelville.
True.
I have not seen them, but I did read the Wikipedia just to get some understanding, and I was like, cool. Only if we need to do like terrible sequels as a theme month will we go back to this drawer.
Oh God. Oh no.
Okay, but while we're in this film, I have a question for both of you, and that is it horror? When watching The Lost Boys, were you scared? Does this count as an entry in the horror canon for us to include on the podcast?
Okay, but must something scare you to be horror?
No.
Can't just a film exist with vibes in the genre?
No, and I think we have established that it doesn't have to scare us. I am interested if either of you ever got the ookies from this at all.
There's one scene that, especially the first time I watched it, really got me, and we'll get to it later.
Okay.
I think there's moments in the movie where it's like, oh, but then it's like over in half a second.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't really call any of them jump scares. But I do agree with Marilee, because I know what that point is in the movie, that scene is pretty scary.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that soon.
I think that the monster makeup that we do when there is vampire transformation, it makes this like squarely the horror genre. And I have to just like put myself back in 1987. If I went to the cinema and paid, I don't know, like 10 cents or whatever movies cost then,
the dream.
Just truly and honestly, when I would get a kernel of popcorn today, would I have been scared by what I was seeing on screen? And I think in a theater that was dark and this was all I was looking at and not also my phone, I probably would have been a little scared by this movie. I think that it fires on the scaredy cat of me. I've just, even watching it this time, I wasn't watching it in a theater. I wasn't even watching it with the lights down because Mike was still playing on his computer when we watched this because it's the Lost Boys. You don't watch this film. You just have it on all the time. It's like CNN, I guess.
It's why it's on TNT and TBS all the time. Those are like perfect. Like I'm doing my laundry. I need something on.
This is a great laundry movie, truly.
Yeah. I don't think it's a scary movie. But it's vibes. It's a vibes movie.
Yeah, and it like genre alone, it meets the qualifications for horror, I will tell you.
Yeah, and I also think that it is important for us to talk about because of how critical this film existing is in all other vampire things existing. So when I was doing a dive on this and went into some research, I found that this is like credited for the appearance of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Twilight. That without this film, we wouldn't have had those films come after it.
I could buy that.
Yeah, 100%.
I
mean, it's no 9/11, but this is definitely a critical part of the creation of Twilight.
No, it's no 9/11 episode title right there.
And that's a joke just for the people who are on the internet and know about the stacking.
Incredible.
Dominoes.
Incredible.
9/11 to the creation of Twilight. Oh, wow.
Oh, we tasted Nazis just a couple episodes ago. We're fine.
Yeah, for sure. Besides, you don't follow that up. I do. 'Cause gang! What about looking at this film through the lens of queer theory? I know, it's a bit of a stretch, but can we find a queer reading for The Lost Boys?
Is this the gayest thing we have watched?
Yes.
Is it? We literally watched a story about two women in love. Is this gayer than that?
I think it is.
Yeah, I think so too. It's really funny because I don't even think it is coded, but it's also not coded, and it's intentional, but it's not intentional. It is everything that makes like a good discussion for us that this is very, very gay. David and Michael have vibes. Sam's got a little bit of a vibe. There's a lot of queerness in this.
I think it's way more than a little bit of a vibe. That is the gayest boy I have seen on celluloid, mama. Like, the outfits, the gay ear piercing. If you look closely, it's kind of blinking, you'll miss it, but there is a very sexy, almost pin-up-like poster of Rob Lowe.
Blink and you miss it? We keep going to that closet that has the fucking poster on it.
Well, that shows you how much I paid attention to the fine details of this movie.
Well, listen,
yeah,
if
it's
I
a
pay attention
super.
To nothing, it's the fine gay details.
That Rob Lowe poster is so gay. I
gay.
feel like Sam is kind of like Joel Schumacher's little avatar.
Yeah.
Of homosexuality.
And where was that poster from? Because I also paused on that. Is it from St. Elmo's? Where is it from?
I think it's just like a poster of Rob Lowe. I think that, you got to make, when you're part of the Brat Pack, they're putting you on posters.
No, just wild.
Yeah, because I didn't see the big crazy hair like he had in St. Elmo's Fire.
Good point.
Also a great movie.
Yeah, not a horror. I don't think we can cover. I don't think we can cover.
Just the horrors of being post college in your early 20s.
Which is deeply horrifying.
Well, great.
Deeply horrifying.
We'll cover that and Felicity, and we'll call it a day.
And then we'll do The Big Chill as like a distant sequel.
Oh my god.
Anyone that's like below the age of 20 has no idea what the fuck we're
talking
about.
We lost all of our Gen Z listeners instantly. They were like, what is even happening here? Are these
But we
words?
just got a big bump from our Gen X audience.
Michael actually started listening to the podcast.
Hold on. If you're Gen Z and listening to this podcast, please email us at fearcodedpod@gmail.com. How did you get here? Real genuine question.
I know, queer podcasting, especially about horror movies, feels so millennial coded.
Also, wild merrily that you would ask Gen Z to to email us. Wow. Just truly.
What would they do? Snapchat it or make a TikTok and send it to us?
Snapchat us?
We don't have a TikTok.
Get older, Tyler. Snapchat.
Okay, anyway, David wants to fuck Michael so bad it makes him stupid.
It makes him so stupid.
Wait, which David and Michael are we
Not
talking
us.
about?
Not my marriage.
I agree though, Marilee. Like, they're so gay for each other, and it makes Michael so stupid. And David is just like, so like I need him carnally.
If you took a shot every time David says Michael's name, you would be blackout before halfway through the movie.
Oh yeah, he's obsessed.
It's sexy every time.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Michael. Just it's hot. They are hot for each other. And like, Marilee, we're going to get to this, but like being a vampire,
it's pretty queer.
It's pretty queer
I feel like
at its base.
we've established this previously. This is going to go on to be very established in this month.
Yeah, I agree. Being a vampire, totally gay. These guys are gay for each other. The entire vampire nest. And I think that's kind of fun about vampires. And I know that we're going to talk Dracula eventually, but Dracula is like he's a guy. Vampires, when they nest, there's this found family to it all, which is sort of resonant to the Lost Boys, and that's a very queer, like, family dynamic, them never growing up, which also has some, like, issues that people deal with in Arrested Development when they can't come out as they want to. There's so much gay to mine here, which is so wonderful for us because there's not a lot of story. It's really just dark vibes, this song, and gay.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes it the perfect movie.
Truly.
Thank you.
Truly.
It's like if the Cocteau Twins album became real.
Wow.
As a movie.
Wow.
Or The Cure. Either one.
This does, you know what? This does have a Cure vibe to it.
Yeah.
Wow, The Cure, man.
The Cure to what?
The Cure stuff, not vampirism. For that, you have to kill Richard Gilmore, who
is
talk about.
Like the principal vampire. It's not happening.
Truly and honestly. Rory, go to college. I don't actually remember anything he said in that series. Sorry, Mr. Gilmore. Your wife was far more interesting than you were.
I'm fucking losing it. Oh my god, David.
He was also the voice of Franklin Delano Roosevelt in Ken Burns' The Roosevelts documentary.
What?
Yeah,
Why do you know that?
Okay, real quick before we jump into the plot beat by beat, I am a huge Ken Burns fan, and The Roosevelts was my first documentary of Ken Burns that I watched,
Incredible.
And it was my comfort watch. I literally watched it I've watched it like 5 or 6 times.
And you said,
especially during the early first Trump administration, where I was just like, perhaps things could be better if we had an effective president.
This is, what's really wild to me is that this is brand new information to me, but I just Googled Mr. Gilmore to find out the actor's name, and Edward Herman, on his Wikipedia, it is like, he is best known for his portrayal of FDR. What the fuck, Tyler? You know him for the top line of his Wikipedia, and Marilee and I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
Not even once.
I think he's been FDR in a couple things.
He has.
To be fair.
He
was.
He was. He has passed. He was. That is like the first third. It takes you until like halfway through the paragraph to even get to Gilmore Girls. That is explosive in my brain.
That's not. No, are you telling me Richard Gilmore is not his number one?
It is not.
That's insane.
It is not.
FDR, baby.
Also,
he could read a letter.
He was well known for his work on Nova, which I did watch a lot of because I was an extreme nerd as a child, and as a spokesperson for Dodge Automobiles. Get it, Edward Herman?
I think I remember him doing. Yes, I do remember him doing voices for Dodge.
But for now, he's squarely in Santa Carla. And so too, what must we be? Because let's jump into this film in earnest. Listeners at home, watch out for me saying Santa Clara, a real town that exists, and not Santa Carla, the name of this town. But here we go. At night in Santa Carla, on a Santa Carla boardwalk, a group of teenagers led by David, along with Dwayne, Paul, and Marco, cause trouble and are thrown out by a security guard. Later that evening, the same security guard is mysteriously attacked and dragged into the sky from unseen forces. The next day, Lucy Emerson arrives in Santa Carla with her 2 sons, Michael and Sam, ready to start a new life with her eccentric father, who we will only know as Grandpa. As they drive into town, they notice how the streets are plastered with missing persons posters, hinting at the darkness underneath the sunny exterior.
Dun dun dun.
This intro's This intro's great.
This intro's a banger.
It's so good. The vibe setting is immaculate. It's so great. I love this movie. Thank you for your time.
I will say, in 2025, the crane shot of the security guard being attacked is a little goofy. But I think in 1987, it would have been very vibe scary. I think now it almost veers into camp a little bit, and that's part of why I think this is established as a cult classic.
I'm so sorry. Are you telling me something in The Lost Boys veers into camp?
But I think in this instance it is unintentional camp. I think later we are putting on the camp. It is camp time. Find your counselor, because here we go. We are getting intense because we are camping. I have no more to do on this little bit. But this one felt like just a camera technique that now reads as camp that I don't think was intended to then. The door coming off the car was great. That was incredible.
Yeah,
even though in real life the door would not have come off, probably would have been like the door handle. But it still was just like effective.
It was effective.
Movies.
It was effective.
I'm just nitpicky because that actually happened to me one time. I took my car to get repaired and the fucking repair people broke off the door handle.
Oh, I truly thought you were going to say they took the whole door off.
Oh.
Yeah, that was also what I thought you were saying. I was like, that's fucking nuts.
The mechanic
No,
was like,
actually, I got spirited away by a flying vampire on a crane, and the mechanic took the door handle off instead of the whole door.
I just imagine your mechanic being like, instructions unclear, took the entire door off. You're welcome. $700, please.
Oh my god. Well, besides that, I think the actual drive into Santa Carla is great. Because we get such a fun montage of all the residents of Santa Carla, and it's established that people here are freaks.
Yeah.
As a very iconic cover of The Doors' "People Are Strange." I believe it's a cover. I think it's a cover because the sounds are different. But either way, "People Are Strange" is playing. It's great. It's very like, I only ever watched this movie at Halloween. And so I associate that song with Halloween,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like, it fits so well. And also, I like, if it weren't for all the damn vampires, I would love to live in Santa Carla. This place seems awesome.
Yeah.
It seems like the vibe. I think that the welcome to Santa Carla and then on the back of it, murder capital of the world, is so fucking iconic.
Yeah.
It felt very Jaws, very Amityville.
Yes!
Or not Amityville, but Amity Island.
Mm.
Yes, you get it.
I also want to say, Diane Wiest, no one could make me hate you. I love you dearly. Why on earth did you accept this role? Contemporary reviews blasted my girl on this. They were like, worst part of the film. She's sort of a fuddy-duddy. She's not doing anything. And they're kind of right. Because there is nothing for her to do, is the thing. There's just nothing for her to do. But
listen, she's there to get a paycheck, and she's doing a super fun job. And I think that everybody who said mean things about Diane Wiest in this movie needs to apologize.
There's nothing wrong with her just being the mom. Moms are cool.
I mean, I agree with that, but it's a little bit like, you know, how I think about it now, it would be like casting Tina Fey in this role and giving her exactly this to do. She'll do it, and she'll be fine doing it. But like, why would you bring a comedic genius, especially a physical comedic genius, into this role and then have them do almost nothing?
That's very
I think
true.
Probably they had more for her to do at some point in the process.
That's probably true.
It sounded like this got rewritten a bunch of times, and maybe her part got slimmed. But that's just me being a wild conspiracy theorist.
No, I based on the number of rewrites this went through, Marilee, you're probably more right than you're wrong.
I love being
tragic
right.
history.
Maybe she's a Goonies hangover, like Corey.
She was just like, was she in the Goonies? Was Diane Wiest in the Goonies?
No. I mean, from the tone of this being Goonies-esque.
I thought she literally was on the Goonies set. They were like, "Don't go anywhere, Diane. We're gonna need you." And then
Steven Spielberg's over there, just like, Diane, go sit over there.
Yeah. What are you even doing here, ma'am?
Well, while exploring the lively boardwalk here in Santa Carla, Sam wanders into a comic book shop and meets Edgar and Alan Frog, who warn him that Santa Carla is crawling with vampires. Meanwhile, Michael's attention is drawn to a beautiful, mysterious girl named Star. As he tries to approach her, David and his gang intervene, sizing up Michael and establishing an immediate tense rivalry. David challenges Michael to a dangerous motorcycle race along the foggy cliffs, ending near the ruins of an old, collapsed hotel. Inside the eerie remains of the hotel, David and his gang entertain Michael with food and drink. They taunt him with an illusion, making him think he's eating maggots and worms, when really, it's just white rice. Eventually, David offers Michael a bottle of wine. Tempted and wanting to fit in, Michael drinks, unknowingly beginning his transformation into a vampire. Michael, don't drink the vampire juice that makes you a vampire!
No one listens to women. I don't know what to tell you.
They don't.
I don't listen to women.
I do like that this becomes a Dare commercial right here in the first act. They're like, drugs are bad. They will turn you into a vampire.
It's the 80s.
It's the 80s.
The Reagans are there, and just say no.
No,
Just
he's
say
there
no.
again.
That's all. You've defeated drugs. Congratulations, everybody.
I think anybody who drinks from an elaborately jeweled wine bottle that's clearly got some other wine that's been put into a bottle and it's not, really corked or anything, perhaps should not be doing that in general.
Yeah.
Vampire blood or no.
I think exchanging fluids is very gay, though.
That's true. That is true.
100%.
That is true. See my weekend.
David could not wait to get Michael to drink his blood.
Truly. He was like, you've had your maggots, and now let's wash it down with a little bit of me. Those were sexy noises in case you couldn't tell on the microphone. Neither of my co-hosts reacted in any way possible, so I might be doing it wrong.
Perhaps we needed that clarification because we were all so confused.
I gotta say, it is truly wild to me how fast everything happens in this movie. We're pretty much instantly recruiting both of these people to their ultimate ends, which is that Sam is being recruited to be a vampire hunter and Michael is being recruited to be a vampire. And it is so efficient with the pace of that it's a little shocking to me. Maybe I needed a TBS commercial break to give me some time on this because I was just shocked how fast this happened.
Oh, we're moving at this movie's duration, 1.5 hours.
Whew.
We're moving at
We love it.
More
pace.
movies should be 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I agree. But yeah, we get in and we get out with this movie.
Yeah.
And so there's no time for side plots, no time for Diane Weiss to show off her comic chops.
She's gotta go. We gotta go.
She's gotta go.
She's
She gotta get with this vampire dad.
I love that these stories are mirrored, though. I think it is so fun that while these sexy vampires are recruiting Michael into their little nest, the dweebs who graduated from the AV Club to open a comic book store and also hunt the forces of darkness are like, cool, we're gonna teach you how to do this and you have to go kill your brother. Bye.
Yeah. And I do think that the two of them being recruited, probably both of the leads have crushed, the other people have crushes on the leads. We can all agree that, right?
Yeah.
I think there's something in the water in Santa Carla and it makes everyone pansexual.
Yeah. The frogs are looking for a third. I don't even buy them as brothers. I think they're just called the Frog Brothers and they're looking
They
for
look
a third.
nothing like brothers, so I
They
just
are
assume.
not brothers.
They might share DNA, but that's about it.
Oh my god.
As the femme presenting person on this podcast, I just want to say that the frogs in their comic book shop with Sam is truly my nightmare comic book interaction. That's the worst.
Yeah.
That's the absolute worst. No one in that store is doing it correctly.
I love the
Horrid.
thought of Marilee going to this comic book shop and being like, could you turn on a light in here so I could see the comic books? Thank you.
Oh,
I mean,
Marilee, would they come? They would come up to you and try and quiz you on comic books
that's
and
what I'm
gatekeep.
saying. Yeah, it's in the weird gatekeeping way. It's that's a very serious comic book. And then Sam, again, nightmare person, was like, you shelved this wrong. It's with the wrong ones. And if I was in that comic book store, I would fucking leave.
They would have some crazy Twitter beef.
I am having such an intense reaction because I've never been in a comic book store, truly. So I have no frame of reference to all of this. I was truly just turn on a light. That was my only feedback on this scene.
There is a thing that can happen if you are femme presenting and you go into a comic book store and people can be like, why are you in this comic book store? Name 5 comics. And it's fucking exhausting. It's so exhausting. And watching this as someone who has interacted in those spaces, let me tell you, this isn't the thing that scared me in this movie, but it could have, because holy fucking shit.
I truly feel like a naive idiot. I didn't even really register this because this is such a foreign thing to me. I would have anxiety walking into Empire Records. I have anxiety going into any store where people like their jobs and have camaraderie with their coworkers. You should hate your coworkers for microwaving fish. That's all I know about the workplace. And but this is revelatory to me that you both are sharing this experience, and Tyler is nodding along, and this is terrible. If somebody wants to come in and buy things, let them buy things. Don't quiz them on things.
David, you're not familiar with, like, the whole stereotype of, like, comic book nerds, like, gatekeeping people and testing? That's, like, comic book guys' whole deal on The Simpsons.
No, but that's like a caricature. That's like that's why he's...
Based off of, like, real like,
people.
asshole nerds, like, especially, like, in the 80s when there's no, like, people telling them, like, actually, you should not be an asshole to women. Because
plus,
women can be just as interested, and femme-presenting people can be just as interested in comic books as a cis male-presenting person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, this is before Wikipedia and where if you wanted to be into comics, you had to read a bunch of comics and like have a huge backlog in order to like actually understand what was going on. So it was real bad out there. One of the benefits, sort of, in like the nerd takeover of popular culture is that things aren't as bad anymore. You have to go to like weird toxic places on the internet to find weird toxic people, but that I have been, you know, people like, I thought it was a cool friendly place and talked to people in a comic book store and got a real awful vibe.
I hate this.
Oh,
I
that's
hate
awful.
this.
Yeah, it's not good. Luckily, Dragon's Lair here in Austin, shout out Dragon's Lair, love you to pieces, does not have that vibe, and that is why they are my local comic book store.
Wow.
Awesome.
Wow. This is wild.
Anyway, back at Grandpa's house, Sam notices something is wrong. Michael is now sensitive to sunlight, acts distant, and even floats uncontrollably in his room. What a list of things. How wild.
I tried to give you two really normal things, like, you know, acting distant and floating, and then compare it with one that was very unnatural, like hating the sun.
Wait, I hate the sun.
Yeah, no, like, that's the most normal one. You have two milk pasty people on this podcast with you, David.
Oh no. Vampires!
Yeah, fair enough.
Vampire!
Panicked, Sam reaches out to the Frog Brothers, who confirm his worst fears. Michael is turning into a vampire. Meanwhile, Lucy tries to rebuild her life. She gets a job at the video store owned by Max, a polite, charming man who quickly shows an interest in her. Sam suspects Max might be the head vampire and conspires with the Frog Brothers to test him. They invite Max over for dinner, then Mom invites Max over for dinner, Sam invites the Frog Brothers, and they test him, and subject him to garlic, holy water, and mirror tricks. But Max passes every test, seemingly harmless.
I, again, probably have set eyes on this film 100 times. I could, if you had said, like, David, what is the job that the mom, Diane Wiest, goes to get? I would never in 100 million years given you video store. I don't know why this eludes me, even though it is like clearly a video store. It's just a weird job to get. I don't know why that is true for me, but it is so true for me. Max doesn't look like he works at a video store. He looks like he's a lawyer married to, you know, Mrs. Gilmore.
Yeah, well, he does look like a lawyer married to Emily Gilmore. That's spot on. But I think that he's styled like an accountant in this film. So him owning a video store is weird. But I want to push back you a little bit, David, because of course it's a video store. It's the most 80s of stores.
That's fair. That's fair. With those little tags you'd bring up to the front and then they'd go find your movie. What a better time.
Mm-hmm. Take me back.
Take us back.
Real quick, I just remembered that the video store is also on the boardwalk, and it's like the boardwalk is happening. Everything is going on here. This is like the only place people go.
Is there any other place in Santa Carla? Survey is unclear.
Yeah.
They've got a like carnival that runs year round that brings people to the boardwalk, and they're like, hey, while I'm here, I'm going to rent a video, buy a comic, and then maybe a new dress at that store that's only open at 11:30 till like 1 a.m.
It honestly reminds me of like when I was a kid, what the beach was like, where it was like very like the locals own it, and so it's very local vibes. And now it's like
corporate.
The whole this boardwalk would have been commercialized and owned by like fucking Apple or something, and it's like the carnival presented to you by Apple.
Oh my god, that's too real.
Yeah. Well then, let's talk about something else that feels like I wish it weren't real. The dinner scene. As I get older, I feel worse for Diane Wiest because she's just trying to get back out there, and she's just trying to have a dinner that she already had to bail on before, and she made this whole thing, and then this kid and his two weirdo new friends just completely ruin it in the least subtle ways possible.
Truly. Truly. Yeah, the only thing would be less subtle is they were like, holy water, and then threw it at him. Like, it's just...
But they basically do that anyway. I think it's just with regular water, which I don't know what they were expecting that to do, but...
Yeah, he's just like, oh, here, quick, drink some water, and dumps it on him.
Throws it on his crotch. Wild. Hey, Sam, why are you so interested in Richard Gilmore's crotch?
Listen, I mean, daddy, may I?
Speaking of things that are pretty gay, I'd like you to all peep Michael's new earring once he wakes up post-vampiring.
It just happened. Like, it's our evolved form, right? As queers, we just suddenly get piercings. Like, they just show up.
It's true.
God, I wish I would have so many more by now.
Wow.
I know. God, I got my ears pierced a couple months ago, and it's just almost healed, but it's not quite there yet, and it's very annoying.
Yeah.
I really want to get my ears pierced.
Do it. It's so much fun. I love having more metal in my ears.
Great.
Probably gonna have to wait until after the move, but definitely want some metal in my ears.
I support this for both of you, and when eventually we have to take on our greatest foe, Magneto, I will be there to help out.
I appreciate you so much, David.
I will go clothesline him or hug him. He won't know which it is until I get there, and frankly, neither will I.
I love and respect that.
Bold also to assume that we're fighting against Magneto.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
why would we?
I gotta say,
never would.
I would be on the Brotherhood of Evil.
There's no way we would ever fight Magneto. That is an only hug situation.
All right, let's talk about the scariest scene in this movie. Right after Sam ruins the first attempt of the date, he and Lucy go to drop off a bottle of apology wine at Max's home, and she goes in through the gate, and then Thorn, Max's dog, goes after Lucy in the scariest scene in the film. That vicious dog growling, chasing after her, ripping her skirt as she's going over the fence. That's scary. That is a dog out for blood.
Agreed.
And that scared me the first time. It's one of the scariest scenes in the whole film.
Agreed.
Yeah, totally. Especially if you're if you were like me and you were a little gay mama's boy and you watched your mom get terrorized like that, it's really impactful.
Yeah. I because I am stupid, couldn't really tell the difference between these two dogs though, so then I got really confused when I was preparing these notes, and I was like, why is there a dog over at this other guy's house?
Buddy.
They're different breeds, David.
I'm dog blind.
Clearly different dogs.
They're not that different. It's not like one is a pug and one is a shepherding dog. They're both sort of fluffy dogs.
No, one is clearly a husky.
Yeah, and the other is clearly some sort of Labrador mix with devil ears.
No, I think he looks like a German Shepherd, but pure white.
Oh, that would make sense, and that would make him creepier. Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, that. I don't know what breed of dog Thorn is, but he looks like an aggressive Shepherd mix, but just pure white.
Yeah.
Sorry to dogs everywhere. You know who I'm not sorry to? Lassie. Eat it, Lassie.
Anyway, desperate for answers, Michael finds Star again. She reveals that she, along with a little boy named Laddie, are also only half vampires. They are trapped in limbo, not fully turned, and their only hope is to kill the head vampire.
It's wild how often we just go to a character who's would you like a lore dump? They're like NPCs, truly and honestly. Just let me get it all out there. And this child, God, if I could exercise one thing from this film, it would be that we don't need this boy to care about what's going on. And it really, I hate what it does to Star.
Oh,
yeah.
It's terrible. It's terrible what it does to Star. I hated it. Oh, God, this whole sequence in the movie is kind of weird. Deciding to take action, Sam and the Frog Brothers plan an assault. They track David's gang back to their lair, and during the daytime when vampires are weakest, they drive a stake through Marco while he sleeps. Rest in peace, either Bill or Ted. I never remember which one.
I can't either. I think that was Bill.
Really? Keanu Reeves didn't get top billing? I guess not. Different time. The violent death triggers a horrific chain reaction, waking the others, and the boys barely escape with their lives.
Yeah.
I want to start off with the sex scene that happens.
Please.
Listeners, we didn't bring it up in this little summary here, but Michael and Star have sex, and it is so 80s. They're playing that one song. It's extremely 80s cheese. There's transitions and fades in and out, and they kind of have the RuPaul's Drag Race season 1 filter going on. It is it's a lot. I think it works because that is the kind of movie and time period that we're in, and there's just kind of an expectation that there's supposed to be a sex scene between a hot man and a hot woman. But Michael is still like totally queer.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're both. It's bi for bi, babes.
Yeah, that's
yes.
That's
we
true.
just don't see Star's butch vampire girlfriend.
Yeah, because
she'll get one in the sequel.
Well, we'll find out in sequel Terry. No, just kidding. We don't have a theme month for sequels yet. I don't know. I will say the sex scene doesn't work for me, but I do appreciate and countersign everything Tyler just said in that it needs to be in this film, I guess, because it is the sort of thing that just has to be here. It's kind of like a credits sequence at the end of the film. We have to have this sort of obligatory Vaseline on the camera sex scene with too many cuts. And I think we do that so that it's not censored. I didn't even look at what this film was rated, but I think this has got to be kept to a PG-13. This is not.
I mean, the vampires don't really spew blood. It's more of like oil, like like engine oil. It kind of looks like.
I mean, there's an explosion of blood at the climax of this film.
That's
certainly.
true. That's definitely a thing. But like,
I mean, a vampire gets boiled alive, and we see his bones in the boiling water.
yeah, but I don't know if that's enough for them to call it.
Listen, I fully buy that it's PG-13. I'm just saying that those are things that happen.
I don't know. Had Temple of Doom come out yet? Because that was the thing that really kind of moved and changed ratings.
It's true.
It was given an R rating.
Yeah, I buy that.
Due to, quote, strong vampire violence and gore, language, sexuality, and some drug use. I didn't even think about the drug use part of this, but yes, that is the sort of thing that usually flags for R.
True.
Yeah, the grandfather is smoking pot. We all know this. That's fine.
Oh yeah, they find like pot leaves outside, and that's like, well, it's drug use.
He's growing his own
drug
pot.
use. 1987. It's R. It's R.
It's so funny
don't let the
that,
Reagans know.
It didn't even rate for me. I was like, well, of course he is, but like I didn't even pay it a second piece of mind because I was like, oh, of course he is. No big deal. Like, let's move on. Wow, that is wild.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else is wild? In the vampire den, they're looking for the coffins, and they're like, where are they? And then they all look up, and the vampires are fucking on the ceiling. The first time I saw this, I gasped out loud. That was the gag. I lost it. It was great.
It's pretty good. It's a pretty good sequence, honestly. The entire assault, goofy though it is, and stark that like it's like broad daylight, even though I know that's kind of the point. But I would even just throw a filter on that sequence, and like we don't need to be like bright ass daylight. It's just a little too unnerving. But not like a good way, just in kind of like a weird way. But I had fun with the whole thing. I thought it was fun, them staking Marco. R.I.P. Bill, and hope you get to time travel with Keanu Reeves later in the sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the sequel to this movie, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. It's a sequel to The Lost Boys. Did you not know that?
It makes total sense.
I
I think like it's very well directed. I think that's what it is. Like it's very silly, but it like Joel Schumacher is he's still alive, right? Or did he pass away? I think he's still alive.
I think he's still alive.
Joel Schumacher did an excellent job.
We're furiously Googling everybody.
Oh
God,
Just don't tweet at us. We know. We're going to find out in a second.
We'll find out.
He passed away in 2020. He passed away in 2020.
Aww. Well, rest in
Gone
peace.
too soon.
Rest in peace. But he did do a really good job in this sequence of like directing and blocking it, which I think is a lost art. So I think this was it was well done. It was very Evil Dead-esque. Yes. I feel like, I think Evil Dead 2 specifically shares a lot of DNA with this movie. Although I think this is probably like tonally the brighter sort of movie, because Evil Dead.
Speaking of things being brighter, God, I wish people lit movies like this. I know that David doesn't like it, but I do. I love knowing what's happening in a scene.
No, I love everything in the hotel. I just think the drive up to the hotel, it was too bright. I would have put a filter on that. It was too much.
That's fair.
Well, desperate for answers, Michael finds Star. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Am I rereading
it's David.
stuff?
It's David's next.
No, you took away my agency.
I'm so sorry, David.
Who am I, Star? Ooh, burn, 80s movie.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Knowing the gang will come for them at nightfall, they prepare Grandpa's house for battle. The group fills water guns with holy water, string up garlic everywhere, and arm themselves with stakes. Michael, Star, and Laddie hide upstairs waiting. As darkness falls, David and his gang launch their attack. In a series of brutal confrontation, Sam kills Dwayne with a well-placed stake. Alan and Edgar manage to shove Paul into a bathtub full of holy water and garlic with an assist from Nanook the dog, causing him to dissolve. Truly wild, truly intense. That is probably some of the scariest monster makeup stuff that exists in this. Michael faces off against David. They're friends, they're lovers, they hate each other, they love each other, and in a brutal and emotional end, Michael impales David on a set of antlers. But are they bone? Are they wood? Who knows? See the sequel for no answers to this. However, despite David's death, Michael, Star, and Laddie do not immediately return to normal, which means that Kiefer Sutherland was not the head vampire after all.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
I love the Home Alone vibes of all of this. Despite Home Alone not coming out for another 3 years, I think you would be forgiven to think that this is just going off of the McAllister's playbook.
For real.
God, you're so right. I didn't even think about that, but as soon as I saw that in the notes, I screamed. I was like, oh my God, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Totally.
You're a visionary, David.
I mean,
yeah.
This film.
I definitely big Home Alone vibes. I just mentioned Evil Dead, but I do think the death sequences here are over the top in a very Evil Dead 2 sort of way, where it's just like, oh my God, honey, they had so much fun doing the special effects with this scene.
Oh my God.
The vampire dissolving in holy water and garlic is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that shit is wild. And then, like, there's, like, the ichor that's, like, shooting out of all the faucets throughout the house.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
It was great, and it's just, like, so fun because, like, every water thing in the bathroom as well as, like, downstairs in the kitchen were just, like, splurting blood like it was the fucking Shining. It was great.
It is grotesque and amazing. And this is another time when I think this walks the line very good that the car door didn't, or the crane shot to the security guard didn't as well long term. I think this perfectly walks the balance beam of camp and serious. Like, you could watch this and be terrified of it. I think you could also watch this and laugh your ass off. Because
that's me. I did that. I laughed so hard. Death by Stereo? Are you fucking kidding me?
Brilliant.
And I think that there's a line right before the vampire assault that happens that's such fun table setting, where the Frog Brothers are like talking about how when vampires die, it's different every time. There's gonna be a different thing, and like that is how like no, we don't have dusting for everybody. Everybody has their own fun, unique death throw. It's great.
Yeah.
Just when it seems safe, Max appears. He reveals himself to be the true head vampire, explaining that he had planned to make Lucy and her sons part of his vampire family. Before Max can carry out his plan, Grandpa crashes into the house, driving his truck into the side of the house, impaling Max on a fence post and killing him instantly. With Max's death, Michael, Star, and Laddie are freed from their curse. As the dust settles, Grandpa casually walks into the refrigerator, opens a drink, and dryly remarks that the only problem with Santa Carla is all the damn vampires, bringing the story to a conclusive close.
This is so stupid. I mean,
it's my favorite part.
It's great. It is this is fantastic, but it is the truly like what just happened moment for me. Like, what is going on here?
The grandpa reveal made me laugh more than anything else the first time I watched this movie. I was just fucking rolling on the floor.
Truly. I had so much fun. It was great. Again, I hate watching this because I think there are better things that we could just put on television, but this sequence is kind of like where I always stop whatever I'm doing and watch the final conclusion, because the moment that he comes back, when Max comes back and sort of reveals, ooh, it's actually me and I'm a villain, and then he like
why are you doing like the Polly from the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie here? Like, what voice are you doing?
Because that's what Max sounds like.
That's what he sounds like. Just like I don't know what I'm going for here. But pretty much as soon as he comes back in, reveals his like, I just tied Penelope Pitstop to the tracks, you'll never save her, and then the truck just decimating this man and kind of like instantly being like, no, the third act's over, movie over, go home. It is wonderful.
It's so great. And here's the thing. This is the thing we were talking, I was kind of alluding to earlier. This final sequence reveals that it was Max all along, who, not David, who was our Peter Pan allegory. He was looking for a mother for his Lost Boys.
Yeah.
And so he was the Peter Pan. All of the Lost Boys were in fact the Lost Boys who were only in charge when Peter was away.
And Lucy was to be their Wendy. That's what she was being recruited for.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
Yeah, I like
Makes
that.
sense.
I like that read, Marilee. I like that.
Yeah, because again, if you read the book, Peter specifically is like, my boys need a mother, and I'm looking for a mother. Will you be their mother? And that's why she's brought to Neverland, and she brings her brothers, and that's the whole thing. I think that Star is a much more compelling, if you think about it, version of Wendy's daughter in a lot of like the Peter Pan sequels and ideas, where her daughter goes to Neverland and she brings Peter back with her, but then some versions like she stays. Like that whole thing.
Interesting.
Wow.
I like all of that, and that makes me appreciate the title The Lost Boys a little bit more. I think this could have also been called Santa Carla, and I would have had just as much fun with the film.
Oh, for sure.
That's fair. I respect that. I love Peter Pan, so I'm really digging the fact that it's called Lost Boys, but I get exactly where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This was good. It was fun. But
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
before we start to wrap up the movie, I've got to come back to the questions that brought us here. Do you have any other feelings about this being horror or it being queer?
Yes, it's very gay and camp and fun and perfect, and you should watch it if you haven't already. It's fun and it's a great time and it's so 80s and it's a delight.
I think as queer people, we really respond to movies where there are outcasts and weirdos and freaks, and they're the monsters.
Mhm.
And this movie is like quintessential for that reason, because there are a whole bunch of like freaky ass people who are monsters in this movie. And sure, they do bad things. They eat people. That's not good. And they turn people against their will into vampires. Also bad. But like, it's nice to see like our stories still reciprocated in film, especially during a time like this where like being out and gay would have been a lot more challenging than it is today, even though it is still very challenging today in Hollywood. And yeah, I think it's super gay. I think everyone who's gay should see this movie at least once. And David and Michael for forever.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you mean these two? All right, that's fine.
Yeah, you guys are fine. Y'all are fine. I met you.
I just think that this film is fantastic. I think that our conversation made me appreciate some of the horror parts of this a lot more. I think the action sequences do put this in that horror action comedy world. The Home Alone confrontation has some very like good monster effects. Before Nanook saves the day, the creature that is a vampire that has lost a lot of its vampire but is still alive and moving around and like comes for the kids before Nanook has to save them, that is a very scary looking thing. And I think that if I had watched this when it was in theaters and I was 5 years old, that would have been like a problem for me sleeping through the night, which is why this is rated R, and like, don't bring your 5-year-old to this film. I like the sort of nature, and I think we'll come back to it throughout the month, of the Predator and the way in which the Predator gets a queer reading as a queer-coded villain, all the way back from Hays Code. We've been talking about this pretty much through the entirety of our podcast. But I think that's a really interesting thing. I also think that the song is gay. Like the vibe that is set from this song throughout the film, the leitmotif, as Marilee offered, it just is really queer. It's a really queer sounding music. I don't know what else to give it besides
It's
that.
because it's theatrical, and we claim that.
It is.
It's a children's choir singing hauntingly, "Thou shalt not fall." Like,
yeah, like
Yeah.
children's choir singing about religious shit, that's ours.
Yeah, I mean, truly, we didn't have as much choirs as I thought we would last month. It's weird that we're getting them this month.
we get more like organs,
That's
you know,
right.
like brrr, like in our excommunicapril.
Yeah.
Oh man, we could have. If only I were there for midnight mass. Stupid life
Oh,
getting in
We
the way.
really
Guess
wanted
what?
you
There's-
to talk
there's
about.
7 other episodes we can talk about, Tyler. We can always
fair.
come
Yeah.
back. I think it's great. I think there's a lot of homoerotic subtext to this film, and I say I am glad we covered it.
Well, in that case, does anyone have any other final thoughts for this episode, or anything that you wanted to point out, or a conversation you wanted to have?
I did have one thing. I just wanted to point out that apparently Max's goal was to convert both kids to vampirism before he brought this to Lucy to like Brady Bunch their family. I just think it's interesting that David never talked to Sam, never approached him, nothing. He was interested in one thing and one thing only, and that was Michael.
Yeah, sometimes you've got a job to do, and then your dick gets in the way.
And then you see a cute boy and you want to have him be part of your vampire pack where you can like nestle and sleep next to each other in your bat colony. And it doesn't even matter that he's killed all your bros because you want to have your boyfriend.
Right. And then
just make him drink the vampire juice that makes you a vampire.
Oh my God. And then all you really want to do is kiss. And then he like throws you on some antlers. Rude.
Yeah.
Rude. They could have been making out.
The only thing that we also didn't get to talk about was the maggots and worm revelation, which again, I've just got to say is great and is parodied or referenced maybe in What We Do in the Shadows. So when we eventually talk about that, we will get a chance to revisit this because they sort of set that up as sort of a joke, which I think was a nice callback to the film.
Definitely.
Yeah, that is very good. I just will say that I don't appreciate that part of the movie as someone who has intrusive thoughts sometimes because my food going bad and there being maggots in it is something that I have worried about before. Well, thank you all so much for listening to this episode. Sorry for ending on such a gross note. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. If you are a vampire hunter and you have recommendations of comic books that we should read, you can reach out to us at Instagram and Blue Sky at FearCodedPod.
And this podcast is a proud part of the Glitterjaw Queer Podcast Collective. If you'd like to listen to more queer media podcasts, including the aforementioned mixed reviews covering William Dafoe, you can find the full roster of Glitterjaw shows at glitterjaw.com. And join us next week where we will not accept subtext. We are going full text with queerness on screen as we talk about the vampires of New Orleans with the television series Interview with the Vampire as May We Suck Your Blood continues. But for now, we will simply say goodbye.
Bye.
We are visiting our vampiric friends. This time we are visiting our vampiric... This time we are visiting our... I don't even know how to say this.
Vampiric.
They might share DNA, but that's about it.